tale as old as time. Ow. Why is Lumiere the only one with a French accent? It's always bugged me. Beauty and the Beast, the newest live-action Disney princess movie, has just come out, and I have never been so happy in my life. Beauty and the Beast is my favorite Disney classic. It's the best. Belle is my favorite princess. I love the story, I love the music, I love everything. It's so beautiful and wonderful, and I'm so happy. I was honestly just terrified. I was terrified that this movie was gonna just ruin everything that I love. And I was so afraid because I hate remakes. I hate that remakes are a thing that keep happening. I'm like, all right, enough, just enough, okay? And when I heard they were remaking Beauty and the Beast, I was like half really excited because I love Beauty and the Beast and half just completely terrified. But I've got to say, this is the best live action remake of a Disney movie, if not one of the best remakes of anything ever. I'm so happy. But do you know why this movie is so amazing? And why, even though it's a remake, it is still an incredible movie to watch? They hardly changed anything. Anything at all. It was amazing. There's like a few differences, like they added a couple new songs, they added a couple new small minor characters, they added a little bit more backstory and a little bit more depth to everything, but nothing really changed. They just added stuff. This movie is primarily just shot for shot the original Beauty and the Beast cartoon. Some of it is even line for line exactly the same. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's so good. It's amazing. Oh my gosh. So chances are, if you like the original Beauty and the Beast movie, you're gonna like this one because they're literally exactly the same. And honestly, the changes that they made in the remake actually kind of made me like it even more. Like, parts of this I think were actually done better than the original film, which is saying something. That's saying a lot, especially for me who just worships the original film. It's amazing. But honestly, there were some changes in this movie that I thought really improved everything. I also think it definitely helps that this movie is a lot longer than the original film. It runs almost 2.5 hours of just amazingness, and that gives a lot more room for character development and developing the backstories and just getting deeper into this world, and it's wonderful. I think Emma Watson as Belle was a beautiful, beautiful choice. Despite the fact that she's the only one with a British accent in an entire cast of American accents, and then there's Lumiere and the Feather Duster. Makes no sense to me, but whatever. But Emma Watson was stunning and beautiful and amazing, and her singing voice is phenomenal. I'd never heard her sing before, and it was really surprisingly very good. Dan Stevens as the Beast, holy fuck. I prefer him to the original Beast and the original film. His voice was just so much more deep and daunting and terrifying, but he also had this like likability to him, and you could feel his compassion through his voice, and it was so perfect. Not to mention his eyes. Oh my god, he had the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen in my life. But when he sings Evermore, I got chills everywhere. It was amazing and beautiful, and I've listened to it about 100,000 times. My favorite actor in this movie has got to be Luke Evans as Gaston. That man is just born to be Gaston. He is literally the essence of Gaston, and it is amazing. I can't picture anyone else playing Gaston as perfectly as he did. It was wonderful. He was hilarious. He was so self-centered in the most amazing kind of way, and he just completely embodied everything that Gaston represents. Perfect. Honestly, just the casting in general in this movie was hands down perfect. Like, I couldn't have picked a better cast. Everyone was good. There was not one person I didn't like. Freaking Ian McKellen is in this movie. Like, it's amazing. Oh, and Ian McGregor as Lumiere. I was a little bit skeptical about this because, well, he's not French. And I've heard him sing a little bit. He did Moulin Rouge, but other than that, I've never really been like that impressed by him as a vocalist. But I've gotta say, I was very impressed with his performance. I honestly, I guess I probably would have preferred a real French person, because there are little parts where you can be like, I can tell you're not really French. We all know, Ewan McGregor, we all know. But I mean, his performance was really, really good, as it always is. He's amazing. And I loved Lumiere. Lumiere is one of my favorite characters in the original and one of my favorite characters in this one, and he was just great. Now the changes that they did make, I think were definitely for the better. We got some backstory about Belle's childhood and about her mother and what happened to her. We got backstory on the Beast and his childhood and what happened to his parents and why he kind of turned up the way that he is. We also see a lot more from Belle's father, who is a little bit different. He's not really an inventor as much as like a clocksmith, but there's a lot more of a relationship between him and Belle. He's a lot more like likable. He's not really that much of like a weird bumbling fat guy like he is in the original movie. He's actually like her dad, and he's a really cool guy, and he loves her, and you can feel like their relationship with each other and how strong it is, and it's wonderful and beautiful. So you feel a lot more for him when he gets captured and whenever he and Belle are apart and they just want to be together, and it's like you just feel a lot more emotion towards him and Belle and their relationship. And once again, that just has to do with the length of this movie and how much room there is for development of characters and their relationships, and I really think it just benefited the film so much. He also gets a song. He doesn't sing anything in the original, but he has a song in this movie, and I really liked that little touch. Also, the ending is slightly different, not drastically different. It still ends the same way, but there's a little bit of a difference in the ending, and it's a little bit more like it gets you. It'll get you. I'm really, really happy with the way that they did it. I think it was really interesting, and it really just brought a lot more emotions into the movie, and I just felt so much more connected to the whole cast, and whenever the ending turned out to be a happy ending, I felt even more happy about it, and it was just, it was so perfect. This movie is perfect. LeFou was also a character who I really loved in this movie. I actually liked him more than I did in the original film, and I loved him in the original film, because in this movie he's a little bit more like, I don't know, he seems smarter. He kind of realizes that he's Gaston's bitch, and he's like, I don't know, man. Maybe I don't want to do this. And there's also the huge controversy that is the fact that he is gay. And honestly, before I saw the movie, I was expecting him to be like super flamboyant and just like ridiculously obviously gay, but after seeing the movie, it was very subtle, and honestly, I don't know what everyone's freaking out about. But I do like that decision, and I think it was pretty bold move for them. Visually, this movie was so beautiful, just from beginning to end. Everything, the setting, the scenery, the special effects, everything was so beautiful. I love the design of the characters. I love the design of Lumiere and Cogsworth. I thought they looked really cool. Everything in the castle, everything around them, just the whole movie is absolutely stunning, especially Be Our Guest. Be Our Guest is the greatest scene in the entire world. It is beautiful and magical, and I want to watch it a million more times. It's so good. I'm just so happy with this movie. I have never been happier walking out of a movie theater. I want to watch it again. I need to go see it again, like ASAP. I even rewatched the original film last night because I was just feeling so excited and so nostalgic, and I was like, I have to watch it. And after watching it, I really realized how much they are like the same movie. Like 80% of the script is just line for line, word for word, shot for shot, exactly the same, and I love it. So because this movie was so absolutely amazing, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. I'd give it a 6 if I could, because I'm just obsessed with it. I really hope as they go forward into making more live action Disney movies that they are just as good as this one, and I hope they learn from this that you don't have to change anything. If you're making a remake, just there's nothing wrong with the original movie. If it's so good that you're making a remake, clearly there's nothing wrong with it. So why are you just stop. Preferably just don't make any remakes at all, but I really like this movie. I actually kind of feel like I like it even more than the original, and I feel like I want to like punch myself for saying that, but it's just so freaking good. Anyways, I'm gonna go listen to the soundtrack a billion times. Let me know if you saw this movie. Let me know in the comments what you thought about it, and let me know what your favorite Disney movie is. Classic Disney movie, like cartoon, Disney princess, you know the spiel. My favorite, if you can't tell, is Beauty and the Beast. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you next time. Bye.